Welcome to the Footy Wrap, episode number 5. I'm the host of the show, Jeff Wortman, and this is my Man Friday, Paul.
It's a little bit racist, a little bit dated, but we'll go with that.
We should touch on the NAB Cup results, but let's touch on the drama first, because we love melodrama in football. And Premiership midfielder Daniel Kerrs found himself spending a night in the clink in WA. And let me give you a background of this story before I get your opinion. He went to see a friend in hospital, actually, but was asked to leave the hospital by hospital staff after being a little bit drunk and disorderly, and then allegedly got into a bit of an altercation with a taxi driver outside, and he's rumoured to have jumped on the boot of the taxi, broken the aerial off, and then assaulted the taxi driver with the aerial. Anyway, following that, obviously went to spend a night in jail and was put into a cell with Josh Scott, who's 18 years old and also a West Coast supporter, who didn't actually recognise Daniel Kerr at first. But then when he heard the officer say, how's Kerr going? He said, oh my God, is this Daniel Kerr?
He's in the clink with Kerr.
I'm in the cell with Kerr. And he said, he sort of struck up a conversation with him. He said, oh, how's it going? Aren't you playing in the NAB Cup game tomorrow? Are you going to be all right? And Daniel Kerr's response was, do you want to have a punch-up?
Oh, he loves a fight, Daniel Kerr.
Yeah.
They all love a fight down there at West Coast.
They do, don't they?
Have you ever been to Perth?
Yeah.
It's not a lot to do.
No, I guess.
Everyone likes to get into each other. I mean, give him a fair go. And look, he'd be missing his mate Michael Gardner.
Yeah.
He always likes a good night out as well.
But actually, did you hear that when he realised he was in trouble, he ran off into the bushes?
Yeah.
Why do they always run, these guys, as well? Like, Ben Cousins did the same thing. They just run.
John Worsfold's taught him to run. Stranger danger. You've got to run. They're the rock stars of Western Australia. You name someone else that's come from Western Australia that isn't a footballer.
Eskimo Joe?
Other than Eskimo Joe. They're pretty bloody good rock stars. Daniel Kerr's father likes a punch-up.
Yeah?
Him and his father had a bit of a punch-up. That might have been the one at the birthday party.
Relating to his sister.
About the sister.
Yeah.
The whole family get into it.
Yeah.
They may in fact be relations to John Kerr, former Governor-General, who would like to drink.
As we mentioned before, the NAB Cup is underway, and there's been a couple of sort of blowouts in terms of the results, including Collingwood and Richmond. A couple of other teams. I'm just wondering whether all these teams are taking it seriously. What do you think?
Well, they're not. They're not taking it seriously. Sydney's not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Paul Roos didn't even coach them. John Longmire did. Yep.
And what did Roos do?
Oh, Roosy was just standing around there talking to bloody Kirk at half time. He said he was the midfield coach.
What about Richmond? They played Shane Tuck in the ruck.
Well, there you go. There's a team that are taking it seriously.
Doesn't sound like they're taking it seriously. One result that set up an interesting second round clash is the Western Bulldogs and Brisbane winning up there in the wet, which means that those two teams will go head to head in the next game, and that's a mouth-watering fixture with Jason Ackermanis.
Do you reckon Acker might be feeling a little bit ill all of a sudden this week?
Well, I don't think he is actually, because he came out in the Adelaide Advertiser and said he'd like to see Jonathan Brown play. He's been pretty vocal about all this. That's a quote from Ackermanis.
Really?
Has he got a death wish?
I'm about 5'0" and I want to take on Jonathan Brown, the hard man of the AFL.
Because Brown and Voss were the two that had a real issue with Acker, weren't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Jonathan Brown couldn't stand Ackermanis.
Yeah.
Drove him nuts.
A lot of people don't know this, but Jason Ackermanis was actually that little guy in Tiananmen Square that stopped the tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's what he will endeavour to do this weekend coming.
Yeah, I think so.
But I'd put, Jonathan Brown versus a tank, I'd say Jonathan Brown.
In South Australia, there's been a big push for State of Origin to come back as well, led by Graham Corns, who's obviously a very parochial sort of South Australian.
Yes.
And the Adelaide Advertiser is running a petition in conjunction with West End Beer that people are going to come out and support State of Origin footy and try and get it back reinstated. In the Adelaide Advertiser...
That's a good combo, isn't it? That's a strong combination. West End Beer, the Adelaide Advertiser and Graham Corns.
I assume it's the beer. It could be the theatre in London, the theatre strip.
You think they're on board down there?
Could be, yeah.
They want to put it on a production of Cats at half time.
But the next sentence reads, born in Victoria, Corns is a crow eater by choice.
He's a bloody crow eater by choice?
He's a Victorian.
I never knew that.
He's like the most parochial South Australian you could ever imagine.
Well, that means his sons, buddy Chad and Kane, they're technically Victorians.
Second generation.
Yeah.
Anyway, they also say that State of Origin footy is as tribal as you can get. And
well, hang on. Well,
they don't have many chances to express that.
Papua New Guinea is fairly tribal. I think wooden spears and bloody shields and, killing each other for livestock, that's pretty tribal.
I'm not sure whether you've been to Telstra Dome yet this year, but they've instituted a new policy of no pass-outs during the game.
They don't want you going outside to buy a $3 hot dog. Instead, they want you inside buying a $12 hot dog.
I guess so.
And I mean, how does this work? When they say no pass outs, does that mean you're not allowed to leave and come back in, or you're just not allowed to leave? It's a cage match. It's 3 hours of football. You are committed. You know, maybe you get your mobile phone confiscated from you. You've got no contact to the outside wall. No watch.
Yeah. That's like school camp.
Yep. Or they check you for a shank. If you've got a shank, you know, in case you get to stab someone. No. Oh. It's like a prison in there. It's prison rules at the Telstra Dome. That's what I want to see.
It's a lock-in.
Yeah.
Do you know the opposite thing happened at Skilled Stadium?
That was a lockout.
They underestimated how many people were going to turn up, and 7,000 fans had to be let in free because they just didn't have enough room open. They had to open a couple extra gates.
But I mean, I don't understand how that happens. I do not understand.
What a strange world it is when you have to force people to stay in Telstra Dome, and yet people are queuing up to get inside Skilled Stadium.
Or to go to Geelong, for that matter. Maybe there was a wrong turn. Maybe they changed the sign on the ring road. Fancy that. You go to Geelong, you go all the way down there, and they put you in a queue. You think, I'm in Geelong. It's like when you go to a dodgy nightclub on a Saturday night, there's a queue out the front.
It is.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insulting, especially when you're at Retro.
Oh, definitely.
One contentious issue also has been this hands in the back interpretation, in which defenders are being sort of cracked down on for putting their hands directly in the forward's back. It's kind of a new interpretation of the rule. What do you think about that?
I think it's rubbish. I think it's soft on forwards.
Really?
Oh, I mean, there was a couple of instances on the weekend of that sort of James Clement thing of, that the defender stands there still with hands like that, forward backs into them, and suddenly it's hands in the back.
Yeah, but I mean, you can use your hip and your body and anything else. You just can't use your hands directly.
Oh, no, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's ever been a problem. Have there been that many free kicks?
Well, I just think it's hard for the umpire to see, because if you're front on like we are in the shot, for example, you can't see. And I mean, you've got your hand on my back now, and presumably because I'm doing a good job of hosting and it's just very hard to see. Just
utilising other parts of the body, just like you're supposed to with the new rule.
Anyway, we'll be back same time next week for more of the same.
You bet.
Do you need a lift home? Or?
No. I'm getting a taxi home. Got me aerial.
All right.